Hey guys, hey. Just wanted to go real quick over how I made my slipcover for my 6x8 Simple Stories scrapbook, scrapbook. I have taken 4 classes now from Vicki Boutin using the Simple Stories Snap album, 6x8 album. Now, the reason I wanted to do this, and I'll get to that in a second. Let's go through what we're going to need. You're going to need some kind of a page protector. I'm going to use an 8.5 by 11 because I buy these by like a box of 200 at Amazon. I use these when I'm taking a class that has a PDF printout. I print it out, I put it in this, and I put it in a 3-ring binder. You can use a 12 by 12, but today we're just going to use 8.5 by 11. The principle would be the same. You're just going to have to measure a little differently. You're going to need something to cut a straight edge. I'm going to use, something to cut a straight edge that also won't melt. I've had this for years. I worked for a financial printer. This is called a pica pole. I've had it forever. I use it a lot. You can also use just a regular metal. Oh, I have mine over here. A regular metal straight edge, something that's not going to melt. And we're going to use this to cut, and we're going to use this to fuse. Now, I don't own a fuse tool, but I do have a wood burning tool. I've had this for years and years. Came with a little set of tips. I'm just using, and I hope you can see that. I'm not going to touch that because it's super hot. It's just a pointy like writing tip. You're going to need X-Acto blade, something to cut, and a Sharpie. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here because I am notorious for touching that, and I don't need to touch that with my hand. So I'm gonna move this aside because I'm sure that glaringness is messing with your eyes. So this is why, and I've been kind of brainstorming this, I don't know, a couple of days maybe since last week, how I could protect this album, because she does put a lot of raised elements on the cover. She's since stopped doing them on the inside cover because when you close the album, repeated closing and opening, these elements get caught on here. I really like the way that it looks to be decorated on the inside, so I've been really thinking of how can I protect this, obviously still be able to see through it and enjoy the decoration on the front and the front cover on the inside cover. So this is what I came up with. There's going to be a tiny little bit of measuring. I know some people eyeball it, but I'm going to do a little bit of both. And the reason why, so here's 2 other albums that I've made. Now, this one is relatively flat. I mean, we do have the title is raised right here. The inside, yeah, very, very little decoration on the inside. But this one is chunkier. You can see those elements are all raised with foam tape. This is chipboard. This is chipboard right here. Whoops. And then on the inside, same thing. There's more chipboard, I'm sorry, not chipboard, but these are all raised elements, and I don't want that to get messed up with the repeated opening and closing of this album. My point is this is going to require a little bit more room in the slipcover once we create it, and this one is not, because of the flatness of this one and the chunkiness of this one. It's just going to be a little bit of a different measurement. So I'll put these back aside, and we're going to take, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet protector, and I'm going to flip it upside down so that my strip, I'm not sure what you would call that, the strip with the holes in it is going to be on my right hand side, just because that's the way that I cut. And I have always cut long straight edges like this with my trusty X-Acto blade and a steel rule. So I'm going to go from the edge here, so this white part in, we're going to measure from this a 1/4 inch in approximately. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but I would say at least a 1/4 inch in. I'm just going to line that up on my grid marks here, and I'm just going to cut straight down. Like I said, these are very cheap page protectors, not hard to cut. If yours are thicker, I'm probably going to have to push a little harder. You could also take a ruler, draw with your Sharpie, and then cut it with scissors. I have never tried to cut a page protector in my trimmer, but I'm sure you could. It might be a little flimsy, but so now I have this open piece here. I'm gonna do this with this big guy first. So what I'm going to do, and this is how it's going to go. You're going to, essentially, when we're done, it's gonna look like a clear pillowcase for your album. So that 1/4 inch off that side, you can see lines up pretty well with the outside spine, as well as the spine on the inside. So when I'm gonna take this back off, I'm going to use that sealed edge right there as kind of a guideline. I'm going to put it over the edge of my album just a little bit. And then I'm going to come down here to the bottom, kind of holding this down so I can kind of eyeball and get a measurement. Like I said, the first one was a measurement, this one is not. I'm going to get my trusty Sharpie, and I'm going to go from the bottom edge. I hope you can see that. I'm going to go from the bottom edge here down about 1/8 of an inch. Not very much room, but we want to give enough room for this to slip over the album easily. So I'm going to, this is not easy to do. I did it earlier, now it's tough. So I'm just going to give myself a little Sharpie mark right there. I'll move this guy out of the way. And again, using my steel rule, and I want this as straight as possible, I am going to grab my tool and I'm just going to follow along. Now this, very hot, very, very hot, so don't get your fingers real close to where this sucker is because it will burn you. And I'm just going to go down. There we go. It is off. I'm going to set that down. We're done with this. This is trash. You can really save it if you want to, but I just throw it away. And now, see, we have our little pocket. And you could use your fuse tool with this, totally. Wood burning tools, I think I got that for $9.99. I want to say it was 10 bucks. It was not expensive. So then, what I like to do is use this reinforced bottom that the page protectors come with, and I like to put that towards the bottom only because as this is sitting and being pulled on and off of a shelf, I think this would stand up better than the edge that we just made. Oh, you can see my little marker mark. So I'm going to flip it around, and basically, like I said, it's just like a pillowcase. It's going to be a little tricky getting it on the album the first time because you have to take and tuck all these little elements in on both sides if the inside is decorated too. So I'm going to try to do this without looking like a clumsy fool. Oh gosh. Okay, woo, progress. And I'm just going to pull. Let's see, I'm running into something on the other side. Sorry you can't see that, I'm off frame here. It's hitting my little butterfly. And there we go. There's our cover. Ta-da! Pretty easy. So give it a try. I still have to do this one, and I have to finish the cover for my color study. But I love the way that this turned out. If you want to also, you could do the same thing for the back side if you want to decorate the back inside cover or the back cover for that matter. You could do the same thing, just repeat the process and flip it around. So that's it. I hope this is helpful. I really like it. I like having this protected. Not only does it keep it from being, wrecked and destroyed from being pulled in and out of a shelf, but it's very dusty here in Arizona. It also keeps the dust off and, little grubby hands that might dirty it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know. And you know where to find me. Bye.